is that, like, I think it will always rear its ugly head, and I have to literally be there to talk to that specific part of my brain that's still healing itself. Because
what do you say?
Like, for me,
what is the process? Yeah.
I'll literally ask myself, is this the insecure you? Is this the trauma-infused 7-year-old you? Is this the trauma, you know what I mean? Like, I have to ask myself, like, which part of this is shown.
They say time heals everything, but for Kelly Rowland, some wounds never fully closed. After years of silence, whispers, and endless rumors, Kelly has finally spoken her truth, and what she revealed left fans speechless. With tears in her eyes, she confirmed what so many people had feared all along. This wasn't about fame. It wasn't about headlines or publicity. This was about pain, deep, personal pain that she carried behind that beautiful smile. For decades, the world saw Kelly Rowland as one of R&B's sweetest voices, the girl who stood proudly beside Beyoncé and Destiny's Child. But behind the lights,
hands were shaking, I had tears in my eyes, I was like, what just happened?
Behind the flawless performances, there was a young woman who was breaking inside. And now, she's finally letting the world see what was really happening behind that stage curtain. The heartbreak, the jealousy, the loneliness, and the betrayal that she could no longer hide. Because for Kelly Rowland, silence became too heavy to bear. Kelly Rowland's story starts like a dream that quickly turned into a storm. Born in Atlanta, Georgia, her early life was far from the glamour we see now. Her parents' relationship fell apart when she was just a little girl. Her mother, Doris, decided it was time to leave.
Beyonce, who do you want to work with in the studio that you haven't worked with?
We actually want to work with Michael Jackson or Stevie Wonder or one of the wonderful legends.
To protect her daughter and start over, they moved to Houston, Texas with nothing but hope and each other. That's where fate stepped in. Houston is where Kelly met a girl named Beyoncé. Two kids with big dreams, both singing like angels and dreaming of stardom. It wasn't long before the girls became inseparable. Kelly eventually moved in with the Knowles family, and Beyoncé's mother, Tina Knowles, treated her like a second daughter. For a while, it felt like Kelly had found her place, her new home, her new family. Together, Beyoncé, Kelly, and their group of friends started singing everywhere they could. Talent shows, local events, auditions, you name it, they did it. Eventually, that little group became Destiny's Child, and the rest is history. But that success didn't come easy. Destiny's Child was dropped by their first label, lost competitions, and faced constant rejection. It took years before Columbia Records gave them a shot, and when they finally made it big, with hit after hit, platinum records, and world tours, everyone thought life was perfect. But it wasn't, not for Kelly. Because while the group was breaking records, Kelly was quietly breaking down. See, the world saw Beyoncé as the star, the voice, the face, the one everyone talked about. And while Kelly loved her like a sister, living in someone else's shadow can destroy you slowly. Every interview, every award show, every photo shoot, fans and the media reminded her of one thing: she wasn't Beyoncé. Imagine putting your heart into the same songs, the same dances, the same sleepless nights, and still being told you're not enough. That pain doesn't go away easily. Kelly admitted years later that she struggled deeply with comparison, insecurity, and self-worth. She even confessed that there were moments when she couldn't celebrate Beyoncé's success, not because she wasn't proud, but because she felt lost in her own identity. It's a feeling too many people understand, but are too afraid to admit. And for Kelly,
all that time, I'm protecting myself. You know what I mean? But in all the time that I'm protecting myself, I'm also going through the most tumultuous relationships, choosing the wrongest dudes to be around.
That feeling turned into silence. She smiled on stage, but she cried when the lights went off. Then came 2013, the year Kelly finally cracked her shell and let the world see her pain. That's when she released Dirty Laundry. It wasn't just a song, it was a confession. In that track, Kelly didn't just sing, she bled her truth. She talked about being in an abusive relationship. She revealed how a man manipulated her, made her feel worthless, and isolated her from everyone she loved, including Beyoncé. The lyrics cut deep. While my sister was on stage, killing it like a mother, I was enraged, feeling it like a mother. That line broke fans' hearts. It was the first time Kelly admitted that jealousy, not out of hate, but out of heartbreak, had poisoned her peace. She loved Beyoncé, but she couldn't stop comparing herself. That song was her therapy session and her breaking point. Kelly later revealed that recording Dirty Laundry was so painful, she broke down crying in the studio. She couldn't even sit through playback sessions. The emotions were too raw, too real. But she did it anyway, because for the first time, she wanted the world to see the truth behind her smile. Still, the pain didn't end there. As if the comparisons and past trauma weren't enough, a new wave of rumors hit the internet. Rumors so wild that they nearly tore her apart. It started with whispers that her son, Titan, wasn't really her husband's child, but Jay-Z's. Fans began spreading photos online, comparing Titan's face to Jay-Z's, claiming they looked too similar. They pointed out that Kelly and Jay-Z had always shared a close friendship, even before she got married. And just like that, social media did what it always does, twisted friendship into scandal. People accused her of betrayal, of hiding a secret baby, of living a double life. And no matter how ridiculous the rumor was, it wouldn't die. Kelly ignored it at first, hoping it would fade away. But the internet doesn't forget, and it doesn't forgive. Every photo she posted, every time her son appeared in public, the comments poured in again. She stayed silent for years, until recently. That's when, in a heartfelt interview, Kelly finally addressed the rumors, tears streaming down her face. She said, "It hurts when people think they can say anything about your child. That's my baby. That's my heart. I've worked too hard to protect my family, to keep them out of the mess that comes with fame. And when people make up lies like that, it breaks something inside you." Her voice cracked as she said she didn't owe anyone an explanation, but she wanted people to know the truth. Titan is her son. Her husband, Tim Weatherspoon, is his father, and no rumor could ever change that. She said she's seen the comments, the posts, the theories, and while she tries to stay strong, sometimes it's just too much. Kelly's tears in that interview weren't just about the rumor. They were about years of being misunderstood, judged, and overshadowed. But here's the twist. What nobody expected was how all of this connected back to her childhood. See, Kelly never really had a stable father figure growing up. Her dad, Christopher, left when she was a child. For 30 long years, she didn't see or speak to him. That absence shaped her. It made her protective, cautious, afraid of abandonment. So when people started attacking her family, when strangers questioned her motherhood, it hit a part of her that was already wounded. But in one of the most emotional moments of her life, Kelly decided to break that generational pain. After becoming a mother herself, she reached out to her dad. With Beyoncé's husband, Jay-Z, actually encouraging her to reconnect, she finally agreed to meet him. And when she did, she said it was one of the hardest yet most healing experiences she'd ever had. She said, "I spent 30 years angry, 30 years wondering why. But when I saw him, all I could do was cry. Because I realized holding on to pain doesn't fix anything. Forgiveness does." That moment showed fans a side of Kelly they had never seen before. Not the superstar, not the performer, but the daughter, the woman, the human. But her struggles didn't end there either. A few years ago, Kelly found herself facing the internet's cruelty again, this time over a comment she left for Chris Brown. All she said was, "Love you," congratulating him for breaking a record. But social media exploded. People accused her of being a colorist, of supporting a man with a history of violence. What fans didn't know was that Kelly hadn't even heard the song that caused the controversy. She was in Australia at the time, unaware of the backlash waiting for her online. When she woke up, her name was trending for all the wrong reasons. But instead of fighting back, Kelly took a deep breath and chose grace. She explained calmly that she didn't know about the lyrics, that she was simply showing love to a fellow artist. Still, the damage was done. She told fans later that the internet doesn't care about explanations, people just want someone to blame. And just when you think she's been through enough, scammers started using her name to trick people out of money. Fake accounts, fake business deals, fake investment offers, all claiming to be Kelly Rowland. Fans were being robbed, her reputation being used, and she had to publicly beg people to stop believing the lies. For someone who built a career on honesty and hard work, that kind of betrayal cuts deep. But here's what makes Kelly Rowland's story powerful. She never gave up. She faced rumors about her child, pain from her past, comparisons to her best friend, and the cruelty of the internet, yet she kept choosing love, forgiveness, and peace. In one emotional moment, Kelly said, "I spent too long trying to prove I was enough. Now I know I always was." She admitted that for years she defined herself by other people's opinions, by how the world saw her next to Beyoncé, by how the media measured her success, by how fans judged her personal life. But she's done living that way. Now she focuses on her family, her son, her husband, and her peace. She said that the industry took a lot from her privacy, her confidence, her innocence, but it could never take her spirit. And maybe that's why fans love her more than ever now, because she's not trying to be perfect anymore. She's just being real. Kelly Rowland's tears weren't a sign of weakness, they were a sign of release. For the first time in a long time, she's not hiding behind music, fame, or image. She's speaking her truth, even when it hurts. And if you listen closely, her message isn't just about celebrity gossip or rumors. It's about every person who's ever felt overlooked, compared, or misunderstood. It's about learning that healing doesn't come from proving yourself. It comes from forgiving yourself. Because no matter how shiny fame looks from the outside, it doesn't protect you from heartbreak. It doesn't protect you from lies. And it definitely doesn't protect you from pain. But Kelly Rowland is proof that you can survive it all and still smile again. She once said, "I used to cry because I felt unseen. Now I cry because I finally see myself." And that, right there, is growth. So yes, Kelly Rowland did tear up as she confirmed the worst rumors. But what she really confirmed was something deeper, that she's done letting the world define her. She's stronger, wiser, and more at peace than ever. And maybe that's the most powerful truth of all. Because through all the tears, all the pain, and all the betrayal, Kelly Rowland finally found what she was looking for, herself. Pause. Soft outro music begins. So what do you think? Did Kelly's confession change how you see her? Do you think the world has been too hard on her? Or is she finally getting the respect she's always deserved? Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you believe Kelly Rowland deserves her flowers, hit that like button, share this video, and don't forget to subscribe for more real celebrity stories that go deeper than gossip. Because behind every headline, there's a human story.